Hey everybody, I'm Brianna Bookly and welcome back to my channel. So I just got home from my second day back to work. As I mentioned in my last video, I am an elementary school librarian, and because of all the COVID stuff, we ended our school year last year early in mid-March. So we are getting ready to start back. The students haven't started yet, but the teachers have started back, and that is where I've been the last couple days. So with all of the seriousness and overwhelming times, getting prepared for students coming back and trying to keep them safe and healthy, I am ready to do something fun. So that is why I'm here today. We're going to do the newbie booktuber tag, and I have not looked over these questions. I have not prepared my answers. We're just going to kind of wing it and see what happens. So I'm going to go ahead and go through those questions. Number 1, why did you start this channel? That is a really good question. It's kind of a tough question. Really over my summer break and after getting off of school early, I had a lot of time on my hands and started watching a lot of YouTube channels. And that's how I discovered BookTube. I just kind of fell in love with the community. I loved the content, just watching other booktubers share their passion. And in my home, I have 3 little ones that love to read, but my husband does not really enjoy reading, and I just wanted somebody that I could talk to about these books that I was getting interested in and getting excited about. So I wanted to start this channel just to have the opportunity to share with others this passion for books and reading that I have, and just getting to talk about the kinds of books that I love to talk about. Being an elementary school librarian, I love kids books. I love children's literature, don't get me wrong, but I'm limited in what I get to share and talk about with them. So getting to just explore all different kinds of genres and the types of books and reading material that I really truly enjoy, and getting to connect with others over those types of books has just been really awesome, and I'm excited to grow this channel so that I can meet even more people to talk about on those things. All right, question number 2. What are some fun and unique things you can bring to BookTube? That is a good question too. I think one of the biggest things that I have been struggling with starting this channel is that I want to be different. I want to stand out, and there's already so many amazing booktubers out there that it's hard for me to think about what I can do to stand out and to be unique. And I think the biggest thing is just remembering to be myself, that I don't have to compare myself with anybody else out there, that ultimately, you know, I started this kind of for me, and that even if this channel doesn't go very far, it's something that I can enjoy. Just some fun, unique things about me. I am an elementary school librarian, so I can bring the library kind of knowledge and side to it. I consider myself a pretty fun and bubbly person, so being in front of a camera and doing that's a little bit different than talking to other people, so I'm learning to be comfortable in front of the camera. But I have 3 little ones, and they keep me going, they keep me motivated. And also my husband, his support has been really good with this, and he's been really encouraging. So I think just bringing out my personality is what's gonna make this a unique booktube channel, and also my crazy quirky family. Number 3, what are you most excited for about this new channel? I feel like I've kind of already answered that question. The thing that I'm most excited about is just meeting new people that are passionate about books the way that I am, and just getting to connect with people over those books. So that's kind of an easy question since I've kind of already answered that. Number 4, why do you love reading? I think the biggest thing is that it's an escape for me. I have found out that I am kind of an anxious, nervous person, and that's not something that I've ever noticed about myself, but in the last couple of years, especially this year with all of the uncertainty with COVID and just things happening in our world that can be kind of scary. My heart has been a little troubled and anxious, and reading has been my coping mechanism for that. So getting into a really good book that allows me to escape and to experience a new world, or experience what it's like to be a character in a different world, experiencing somebody else's problems and learning about how to cope with my own problems through the way that the characters cope with their problems. That is why I love reading, because I can escape for a little while. I do like to read some nonfiction things just to learn. I'm an educator and I'm a lifelong learner. So I do love to learn new things, but I'm definitely more of a fiction person than a nonfiction person, just because I do love to escape. I love the magic that happens in a fantasy book, that, you know, things happen in those stories that you don't get to see every day, and that's something that I really enjoy. Getting to meet new characters, getting to meet new creatures, learning about worlds, and just being amazed at the worlds that an author's mind can create. That just amazes me. So that's what I love most about reading. Question 5. What book or series got you into reading? That's a hard one, because I grew up with books constantly. My parents read to me. I was a big reader in elementary school, and I will say the one that comes to mind is probably the same one that a lot of people, especially my age, are going to say, and that's Harry Potter. I will say I did not start reading the books until after the movies came out, and I'm kind of ashamed to say that. But I just remember, I think I was in 3rd grade, and one of my friends who was kind of one of the more popular girls in school, she had been talking about these books, and she was just so excited about it. She always had one on her, and they were like thick books, and in 3rd grade, who read thick books like that? But she just kept talking about them and talking about them. And I think she was on the 3rd one, actually. I think that's how many were out at that time. It was just the first 3. And so I decided to pick them up and start reading them. But I will say, I think that's the year that the first movie came out, and I have really fond memories of going to the movie with my dad. My mom was having some get together at the house, and so to get out of the house, my dad took me to the movie. And that was just a really good memory. We actually went and saw the last movie together when it came out. We saw it in IMAX and 3D. It was just kind of like full circle of watching the first movie with him and then going and watching the last movie with him. But getting into the books, that series just opened up so many reading opportunities for me. It just opened up a whole new world, to know that an entire world can be created in a book series, and just being so invested in that. I remember coming home after school, and I would literally walk in the front door straight to my room, shut the door, and I would be sitting there reading the Harry Potter books until my mom called me for dinner, and she could hardly pry me away from those books. So that was probably the first series that I was so invested in that I literally would not put them down. And I feel like my love of reading has grown even more since then. Number 6. What questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? A shy person. So as much as I'd want to ask these questions, I don't know if I ever actually would. So if my favorite booktubers watch this video, these questions would be for you. I think, first of all, I'd ask them, would you be my friend? Because I feel like I already know them so well from watching their videos, and I've been so inspired by them to even start this channel. I probably wouldn't have done that if it wasn't for them. I'm gonna give a shout out to one in particular, and that's Tabby at her channel Gryffindor Bookworm. She was my very first booktuber that I ever saw on YouTube, and I got hooked, and I started binge watching all of her videos, and I just loved her personality, and she just seemed like someone that I would be friends with, that I would connect with. It seemed like we had a lot in common. I love watching her unboxings, and I love her heart for Harry Potter. Since that was kind of the series that kicked off my love for reading. I'll always have a soft spot in my heart for that series. So I think I would just ask her, first of all, to be my friend. I would probably also ask, why do you love being in BookTube? What keeps you going? What is your motivation for continuing to do it? What has it been like for you since the very beginning? How did you get your channel to grow? Do you have any tips or tricks for me? I think those are the types of questions that I would ask, just because everything is so new to me still. This is just a totally new thing that I never would have imagined that I would do. So just finding out what it's like from someone who has a little more experience from me, those would be the types of questions that I would ask. Number 7, what challenges do you think starting a BookTube channel will be the hardest to overcome? I think the first thing is that I am a bit of a perfectionist. And so far it's been hard for me to just be relaxed in a video, to be okay with the way I look in a video, to be okay with what's in the background of my video. Starting out, it was really hard for me to just get in and do the videos. I wanted everything to be perfect, and I'm slowly learning. I mean, this is only my 3rd video, but I'm slowly learning that it's okay if it's not perfect. Eventually it'll get better and better and better. So that's been really hard for me to overcome. I think I just compare myself with others and the other amazing booktubers that I've been able to see, but I realize that everybody starts somewhere, and I can't expect myself to be there right now, but one day I might be. Let's see, another challenge for me, I think, is to not focus on the numbers and just to enjoy it, to remember why I started this video and what I was excited about and what I've loved about it so far. Number 8, when did you start reading? Like I said, as a kid, my parents read to me constantly. I remember coming home one day, I think I was in kindergarten, and I was in absolute tears, and I told my mom, I'm never gonna learn to read. And she told me, you'll learn, everybody learns, it's okay. She's like, you want to learn to read, so you'll read. I think she was focused on my desire to read, and I really did. Ever since I was really little, I wanted to learn to read. And then I remember in 1st grade, I really took off with reading. And myself and one other student in my class were the first in our grade to start taking accelerated reader tests in school, and that was like a big deal. And then it was just funny after that, because I would go one year at school and I would hardly read anything at all, but then I'd go another year at school and I would read everything in sight. So I do have slumps where I don't read quite as much. And then I have times where I read everything that I can as quickly as I can. I think I'm kind of in the middle of that right now. I am loving everything that I'm reading, but I'm also kind of a slow reader, so I don't read through things very quickly. So it's easier for me to get in a slump, I guess, because if I spend too much time on one book. So I do try to set time aside to get through books so I don't lose interest in them. Number 9, where do you read? Where do I read? I don't have a lot of private, personal space in this little house with so many family members. I do love to read outside when I get a chance, but with that, we have free-range chickens. We do have a little hobby farm, so that can be kind of tricky because the chickens are very friendly and they think every time you come out of the house you have a treat for them. So reading outside is a little tricky unless they're occupied with food or some other treat. I do most of my reading in bed, honestly. That's kind of my safe zone, my comfy place. I have learned to tune out everything that's going on. Being a mom of 3, I have been able to kind of learn to tune out everything when I'm reading. So I do occasionally read in the living room, on the couch, when I just this sounds kind of cheesy, but my husband and I, we just like being in the same room together. We don't like being very far from one another, so even if he's watching TV or playing video games or something like that, I like to sit on the couch in the same room as him and read. Even if we're doing separate things, just being in the same room makes us feel closer together, closer to one another. And that just brings up something. When we were dating, he would stay up late and he would play video games and I would read a book. And I remember we spent almost every day of one whole summer doing that. So that just brings back good memories. He actually, that summer, we went to Barnes & Noble for a date and he bought me the book, The Host by Stephanie Meyer. And I spent that summer reading through that book while he was playing his video games. So that book brings back some good memories too. And number 9, lastly, what kind of books do you like to read? I like to read a little bit of everything, but I will say right now my favorite absolutely is young adult fantasy. I was late to the game with the A Court of Thorns and Roses series, but once I joined Bookstagram and BookTube, I saw that that was a very popular series and got interested in it. My husband actually bought me the series for Christmas, but I didn't get around to reading it until about 2 months ago. And I very quickly read through those 3 books. I was instantly hooked. So those are probably my favorites right now, with Akamath being my absolute favorite. I just read Seasons of the Storm. That was the featured book in June's Beacon Book Box, which I have a video unboxing for that box if you'd like to check that out. And that book was really good, so I've enjoyed that. I liked it. I know some people didn't, but I really enjoyed it. And right now I'm reading Caraval. I don't know how you say it, but that's what I'm reading right now. Just started it. I'm not too far into it. I might do a reading vlog on that one as I go along. So far it's pretty good. I've heard some really good things about it. I've also heard that some people have had trouble getting through it, so we'll see. I kind of have a tendency to just like books to like them. Like I either really like a book or I don't. It's hard for me to rate books because I usually just like them or I don't. I'm not too picky on books. I think a book has to be really bad for me to not enjoy it. As long as it allows me to escape and allows me to just get invested and involved in it, I usually really like it. If it's different, has interesting characters, dynamic characters, a cool setting, I'm there. So I'm interested to see what that one's about. But those are the kinds of books that I read. Alright, so I feel like I talked a lot, and I'm not usually a talker that talks that much, but that's me. And I am so excited to be a part of BookTube, and I thank all of you who have joined me on this journey so far. If you have watched this far and you're still interested to see more videos that I'll be posting, definitely hit that subscribe button and hit that bell so that you will be notified when I upload other videos. You all have been great. I've loved getting to know all of you in the BookTube community. Definitely say hi by dropping a comment in the below this video and let me know about you. I'd love to just get to know you. But I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope you look forward to others. I'll see you next time. Bye.